Good morning everybody, Matt Dude here at New Hampshire Man, here to show you some tips that I used this spring to get the garden squared away. So what I'm really amped about is that this is a really busy spring for me and the family. But yet, I'm getting better because the garden is actually ready to go. That's surprising to me. It's never been like this before. So some things that I think helped that are at a post that I put on newhampshireman.com. I welcome you to go check that out, and I'll put a link right down here for you to shoot right over to it. But it's 5 tips for an epic spring garden, and I'll just go over some of them now. The first one, which is easy and really cool, is to not do a fall cleanup, at least with stuff that's growing later in the season, namely tomatillos. The coolest thing for us this year was that we just rolled all that up, put it on the wheelbarrow, took it out to the chickens, and that was it. I did a little raking after, but that was pretty much it. Another thing which you're gonna see a lot of are the slabs. I haven't seen anyone using slabs before, but anyway, these are from the sawmill. When the sawyer squares up a log, these are what's left over. Not a lot of uses for them, but I have been thinking of ways to do it. I'll show you some more tips on ways to use slabs in the future. But one thing that stuck out to me was in the spring when I peeled up those slabs, it was just teeming with worms underneath it, and that seemed to me like a really good sign. But I use it for weed suppression, and it marks the rows that I'm planting in. It's a nice organic way to allow water to get in, but no light, so that nothing can grow underneath it. And I also add that when you garden with kids, they are naturally drawn to try to walk along these slabs, which is awesome, because if you have not gardened with kids, they have a tendency to step into whatever it is you're trying to grow. The next thing that I did that I think makes a really nice garden is this trick. When I'm prepping my beds, I put some cardboard down and then chips on top. And then when I'm ready to plant, I just pull the chips back, cut out a little cardboard, and plant right into that. And that's a nice way to get the garden ready now, so that when it's time to plant the cucumbers, the squash, the tomatoes, the peppers, things that need the soil to be a little warmer, this is a decent way to do it. You saw the black plastic back there too. I use that for particularly the tomatoes. Actually, that's all that's going in the plastic this year, tomatoes. Everything else is going into a bed like this one. Okay, another thing that I like to do is do a lot of mulch throughout the growing season. So this is where the onions are right now, and this is a mulch. This is a composted leaf litter / compost mix that I just kind of shred up with a leaf rake out in the compost area where the chickens are, and I scatter it around on top of these. So I think that high quality mulching and keeping weeds at bay throughout the season helps the soil be ready for the next year. Have I mentioned yet that I don't till? I'm kind of moved. There are cases for tilling, but in an established bed, there's really no reason to. And the last tip that I'm going to throw at you is to use a fall cover crop. I use one from Johnny's, which you can go over to my site here and find the link to that. But it's Johnny's Fall Manure Mix, and it's just this stuff. It's a variety of seeds, and it grows. Almost all of it is just an annual, so it'll take off and then die out in the winter. I think they have one of the rye grasses overwinters, and vetch overwinters too. I've seen vetch come back. Maybe it just reseeds, I'm not sure, but anyway, this is vetch. Real pretty stuff, real great ground cover. Doesn't get too tall, and the thing about it is the roots from this fall manure mix are nice, and some of them go deep, but they're all loose. It doesn't turn into this mat like field grass does. When I'm pulling field grass out, you pull some field grass and there's this root that goes a mile that way. It's man. Anyway, so there's a bunch of tips for the getting your things you can do throughout the growing season and beyond to make it so that getting your spring garden in is a breeze. Hope you found that helpful. Cruise over to New Hampshire Man, check out the article, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.